The Too Rich to Miss podcast.
All right, welcome to the Too Rich to Miss unscripted YouTube show. I am your host, Mr. Too Rich, your Southern urban voice, and we are going to be here having a rich, relevant conversation about the economy and about finances and about crypto. And on today's show, we're going to go through and kind of go over some basics. We're going to go through and go over some basics, if I can talk today. We're going to go through and just talk about a few. We're going to answer the question of why Bitcoin? Why cryptocurrency? Why? I mean, what's the whole purpose? And in order to understand really why of all of that, you have to kind of go through and get a basic understanding of where we are. So we're going to go through, I'm going to stay on screen here, and actually we're going to go full screen. Be sure to go through and follow me over here on my YouTube, on my Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at Too Rich to Miss on Twitter. And be sure to follow me on the YouTube channel as well, on Too Rich to Miss on YouTube. And let's go ahead on and hop right on into it. And let's make my screen bigger. And let's hop right on into it here. Now, first and foremost, as we get started, in order to understand where we're going, we have to understand where we are. Where we are right now, we are in our current financial system is what they call fiat money. And without going through making this a very long video, because I like to keep these short, because you guys, when you're looking at the videos, you guys like to get it and go. So we're going to keep this quick and just going to give you some real quick takeaways here to bring it all in. Where are we right now? Fiat money. And I went right to Investopedia, so any of you guys can do your own research and be able to come back and double check me and follow up with all of these things and get into more detail. And yes, for all of my highly intelligent audience out there, yes, there are some better books out there that can go through and talk about all of these things, absolutely. But right now, for the sake of this short video, we're going to go through and just kind of go and hit the highlights. Fiat money. Fiat money is government-issued currency that isn't backed by a commodity such as gold. Now, contrary to what people may think, and this is especially for a lot of the older people, for my older audience, for my 36 to 46, for my 36 to 45 crowd. A lot of us, and then going up into my older people who listen to my content, some of you guys don't understand that we are not on the gold standard. Our money is not backed by gold. So, our money is not backed by gold. Let's just hold that right there. And the reason, I mean, and if you think about it, if you go back to the 1932, 33, you can look at the value of the dollar just going down and look at inflation just eating it up. And inflation is one of those things that affects those of us in the middle class. We feel it a lot more than anybody else. Because we have to keep in mind, it's something that I say a lot, and I'm gonna put it on a shirt. The only color that matters is green. Those of us going through here talking back and forth about racism is a problem. But do you really think the 2% of people that really control everything is worried about what color they are? So, let's get back into it. Fiat money gives central banks greater control over the economy because they can control how much money is printed. Has anybody seen the meme where where Jerome Powell is standing beside the printer and the money printer is going brrr? And guess who just take a wild guess on who gets most of that money. If you're in the middle class, if you have a small business, tell me how much bailout money you got. I'll wait. Most modern paper currencies, such as the US dollar, are fiat currencies. One danger of fiat money is the governments will print too much of it, resulting in hyperinflation. Now, we haven't got the hyperinflation just yet, but I want to ask you guys something. Anybody been to the grocery store here lately? What was the price of, how did you like the price of meat and milk when you were in there? I'm on the East Coast in Virginia, and I can see things going up. You know, I mean, hey, I'm just saying, hyperinflation hasn't started, but we can kind of see the writing on the wall. Now, let's go through and let's talk about Let's talk about the basic definition of Bitcoin here. And I like to make you think here. I ask questions and I'll pause specifically for you to think about what I just previously said, just to kind of give you a tidbit on how I speak and how I talk on things. I want you to think. I want you to use your brain. I leave these things on the screen because I want you to be reading and thinking about this stuff as well. The whole point of this conversation is to educate, is to spark your brain to get more educated and see what's going on. I mean, I'm one of these people who just so happen to be blessed or cursed to be a visionary and see things and think a little bit further ahead than some other people may do. So I have to lay a good foundation. So when I'm going through talking about the cryptocurrency markets and I'm saying that things are in red and that I'm saying that it's in its infancy and I'm comparing it to a neighborhood being built, if you don't have a good understanding of where we are, when you look at what the current the news and the macro situation of what's happening, it'll be hard for you to really put it all together if you don't really have a good understanding of where we are and where they're taking us to, and you start to put everything together. The question of why Bitcoin starts to answer itself when you start to look at all of the pieces to the puzzle, and the picture starts to come together as you put it all together. Now, what is Bitcoin? Let's go through and do some key takeaways on Bitcoin. Launched in 2009, Bitcoin is the world's largest cryptocurrency by market cap. Unlike fiat currency, Bitcoin is created, distributed, traded, and stored with the use of a decentralized ledger system known as a blockchain. Bitcoin's history as a store of value has been turbulent. The cryptocurrency skyrocketed up to roughly $20,000 per coin in 2017, give or take, but as of 2 years later, is currently trading for less than half of that. Now, this is true, but when you look at the performance of Bitcoin as an asset over the last 10 years, and let me actually go through and pull this up here, see if we can. I don't have it here ready to go, but let's see if we can find it here. Let's see, Bitcoin 10-year. Let's see if we can do the Bitcoin 10-year chart. Let's see here if we can see the 10-year chart here. This is not telling me what I'm looking for. Because there's a graphic that will actually give the actual history. But at any rate, let's just get off of that for the moment. Over the last 10 years, Bitcoin is the best performing asset. It has outperformed every other asset class that is around. So you can definitely go through and Google that and check that out on your own. I don't want to make the video longer than it has to be today. So now, and let's get back into this as well. So yes, it is currently trading at about half, and right now looks like Bitcoin is, as of the recording of this video, looks like we're at about 10,720. But once again, when we look at all of the other macro factors that are going on in the world right now, Bitcoin is actually on sale. I definitely feel like it's undervalued, and when you look at how institutional investors are really getting into the space, and with there's a lot happening. that a lot of us retail investors aren't paying attention to. On a day like today, with all of this red going on, this is the perfect day to be able to go out shopping to find deals. Because the strong will survive. Good, strong projects will survive. You have to have a long-term outlook. You have to have proper risk management, and you have to know exactly what you're dealing with, which is why we're here. So yes, it is trading by half, but Bitcoin just itself as a store of value has outperformed everything percentage-wise as far as gains. So yep, it has gone up, and yes, it has gone down, but about 98% of all of the wallets are in profit right about now. So pressing on. As the earliest cryptocurrency to meet widespread popularity and success, Bitcoin has inspired a host of other projects in the blockchain space. Now, the blockchain space is what I want to kind of touch on for a moment. The blockchain space consists of everything that you see right here in all of this red. Now, of course, Bitcoin is the biggest one, and then Ethereum. But then all of these little blocks that you see here are different projects, all the way down even into these little bitty ones that you can't even see way down there. We are in this, the cryptocurrency space is just what it is. It's a whole space, and there's a big market that's involved and entailed. All of these coins have a different purpose and different things going on with them. So when you look at the space, Bitcoin is digital gold. It's the store of value. It's the king. Now, but when you get down to Ethereum, Ethereum is meant to have applications built on top of it. And when you start to talk about decentralized finance or DeFi, that's another part of the cryptocurrency space, the blockchain space, as it will. So when you start to talk about Bitcoin and altcoins or alternative coins, an alternative coin is anything other than Bitcoin. But these alternative coins also have a great purpose. They have different purposes. And on the same token, there's a lot of these coins that aren't going to hold up. But once again, from our older people that have been around for a while and can remember the internet when it first came around, how many internet websites came up back then that are no more right now? Think about it. Now, also in the midst of everything, I want us to keep all that in mind. And even in the midst of all of that, we got yield farming. Now, yield farming is really, really popular right about now. I understand the point of it. Yield farming, I feel like once it really gets its legs and it really gets to be and once the market really grows and matures, yield farming will be a really good way to earn some interest on your crypto and earn some passive income. Is very dangerous right now. It's very dangerous right now. And of course, depending, you listen to some other YouTubers and they'll say, you can make great returns doing it. You can make money doing it. But if you're brand new to the space, don't get out here jumping around in this yield farming part of crypto without really taking the time to make sure you understand everything about it. Okay. Yield farming is you can really lose your shirt if you just don't know what you're doing. Okay. So yield farming, we'll go through and start to discuss it a little bit more in a different video. But that yield farming is great. It's really cool. It's going to be good, but be careful right now because it's a lot of you can lose your capital and you can get wrecked out there. Now, going through, we had already kind of looked at the market. Days like today when the market is red, I'd say the market is on sale. So if you are a DCA if DCA is the way, which DCA stands for dollar cost averaging, if you are a dollar cost averager, which I encourage you to be, because when you're a dollar cost averager, that provides you with the best way, the most efficient way, it's the most efficient use of your capital. Go through and buy the dips. I mean, these days like today, because especially just for myself, I'm long Bitcoin, I'm long Ethereum, and I'm long some other ones as well, but we'll just keep these two in mind. Days like today, I'm a dollar cost averager. I'm going to be dollar cost averaging into these positions. I'm long Bitcoin. I'm long Ethereum. I'm going to be holding on to them. Days like today, it's a no-brainer, especially when you just know you're committing a certain amount from week to week. Dollar cost average your way in. Time in the market beats timing the market. You feel me? Think about it. Now, decentralized finance. As we can see, I always like to pull up this chart because decentralized finance is one of those things that we definitely need to keep our eyes on. I do own some of these coins out here because there's, I believe in the space and my risk tolerance is a little bit higher. A thing I like to bring your attention to in my videos is the total value locked. On the last video that we had out here, the total value locked was around 10 billion. We got total value locked in the space of about 11 billion right now. And as you can see, when we're looking at the 90-day trajectory, we have been steadily going up all the way across here as well. Uniswap dominance at about 18%. Uniswap is doing some serious things, and then this is just a DeFi Pulse index. So I mean, decentralized finance, it is definitely a growing part of the space, and it's going to be around for a while. We're going to go through and do some more talking about decentralized finance as well, and I want to start going through educating you about the space and to give you some more better educational videos on why. And I want you to think about where we are right now. What's going on in the economy right now? The answer to why Bitcoin can really be summed up, can be summed up really, I think, in the second line. Unlike fiat currency, Bitcoin is created, distributed, traded, and stored with the use of a decentralized ledger system known as a blockchain. Heaven forbid the financial playing field gets leveled so that regular people who have great ideas, regular hardworking people who have great ideas are able to get the capital and funding that they need. Heaven forbid there's a time when when your idea and your business plan can stand on its own merits, and just because you don't have the right relationship with the local banker, you can't get the deal, or just because you just might not so happen to have the right skin color, your interest rate may just so happen to end up a few percentage points higher, or your loan amount may not be the highest that you want it to be. Lord forbid there's we get to level the playing field out here, financially speaking. Why Bitcoin? Why cryptocurrencies? It's decentralized for the most. It's decentralized. It's a decentralized system and a way of doing business. The economic playing field, the financial playing field, and the economic playing field is changing. Technology is changing. We're currently in the fiat money system right now, but I want you to ask yourself something. How often do you actually spend physical cash? And I want you to think about something else as well. There's not enough cash in the system to cover what you see on your bank balance. If too many of us went to the bank to try to get the money out that we have, some of us are going to come up short because the system doesn't even have enough. And we're not going to even talk about the fact that the stores don't even have enough change right now, and they're advocating us to use digital currencies more. Well, our debit card or exact change. And meanwhile, big corporations are buying as much Bitcoin as possible, and all type of developers are doing these yield farming things over there in decentralized finance, and the world is growing. So the question is, the train is about to leave the station. Are you going to be on it? Or are you going to be over here wondering what to do when hyperinflation kicks in and you have what I like to call an oh shit moment? I'll catch you on the next episode of the Too Rich to Miss Unscripted show right here on YouTube. Peace.
The Too Rich to Miss podcast.